Hello, my friends. This is Dr. Timothy Lawler. I am I wear many hats here at School Shield. I'm currently Vice President of Communications. I actually do a little bit of the marketing side of the house as well as the whole doctor piece. And I will be doing a different video here in the future and/or podcast, depending on how you guys are hearing this in the future, to introduce myself, and we'll get into some details there. But I just want to have this kind of be a segment that I'm just calling, from the doctor, I guess, because, a lot of what we do on the school safety side of the house is safety. And the fact that our business model and our presence in the marketplace even has to be a serious thing to be considered these days is slightly sad because of all the school violence that we're seeing. But, the world is always a fluid place, and we need to be constantly keeping up with the times and trying to stomp out evil and any kind of other badness. So again, this is just a quick little segment, excuse me, called from the doctor. This is from me to you, whoever's listening to this. Again, I'm Tim Lawler, DO. I actually have a background in being a primary care physician in the military for a little over 5 years. I was actually a Navy flight surgeon. I don't currently practice primary care medicine anymore. I do occupational urgent care medicine, still often dealing with some type of psych components with my patients. But I want these kind of segments in the future from this point forward, guys, to kind of just be a basics understanding. A lot of doctor shows, they always cite, articles and research, and don't get me wrong, we'll do that, and that's important. However, sometimes I think that's a little over people's heads, and these segments I absolutely do not want to be over your head. I just want them to be discussion points. But the point of this one today, my friends, is just to let you know, A, we're starting this series, and B, to let you know what we deal with school violence and school safety. Unfortunately, there is a massive mental health illness part of it. And I was actually online. I found a phenomenal list of reasons of why psychological factors are playing, a big part in school violence. And here's a list. And I just want to kind of touch on a couple of these things, and then we'll be done. And I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. So please make sure that you, include your comments and suggestions below this video on our site, which is www.schoolshield.com. But these are psychological factors, my friends, that do take a part in school violence. And here is the list. And it's divorce, pressure, fighting, depression, friends, fame, and lack of love and affection. So let me just go through these again. Divorce. By all means, am I saying, if parents get divorced, your kid's gonna end up being a very violent person? Not at all, my friends. I mean, we need to use some common sense, guys, when we're having these conversations. But my point is that divorce is stressful. All of these things in this list induces a massive amount of stress into a child's life, and a lot of times they do not know where to go with this. So divorce can be one of those stressful things that really weighs on a child, and they might not know where to turn, and so they sometimes can end up lashing out. Along with that is pressure, and there's pressure again from many avenues. I think what this article was particularly talking about was pressure from a performance point of view. Kids are having more and more demanded on them these days, which is a good and bad thing. But kids are kids, guys. They need to be children and live life and be happy, and not necessarily always trying to hit this mark or this test grade. Again, there's a balance, right? There's always a balance in what we do. Number 3 point is fighting. Possibly there might be fighting in the household, or there might be fighting with some type of friends, and that's another one of these points. Maybe their friends are having a possible bad psychological influence for them, and they might be getting caught up in the wrong crowd. With all these things, one of the massive points that I kind of want to point out as the two biggies is depression. Can a child be depressed? Absolutely. And if you guys think that your child is having any signs of depression, please take them to their primary care provider, or take them to a psychologist or a psychiatrist to get evaluated, and just so they can talk to somebody. This is one that I this will be the last one I talk about, and it's fame. And this is just, again, this is my perspective, Dr. Tim Waller's perspective on this. And me and Mr. Tim Langen and a couple of my other partners here at School Shield were talking a few weeks back, and we were just wondering, why. Just trying to just answer a common sense question of why is this school violence happening now more often than it used to? Every day almost it seems to be getting more and more prevalent. And my take on this, my friends, is the media. And I'm not saying that the media is the evil of all evils. I'm just trying to tell you that it's being publicized. This school violence, these kids that go and do these massacres, they're being thrown on TV. They're being paraded and talked about in every talk show. And they're looking like superstars. Whether it's a superstar that you want them to emulate, obviously it's pretty obvious that that's not the case. But you know what? It's happening nonetheless. So my point of view is that possibly a child wanted to be famous somehow. They really attach themselves to wanting to be exposed, in a good way. But it gets misinterpreted in their mind. It gets, or some of these other factors like the depression or the pressure or the overall stress in their lives just makes them lash out, and they know that they can become famous in this weird, sick, twisted kind of way. And that's just the world we live in. We are living in a more exposed world. We're living in a world where media is awesome, but it's such a double-edged sword, and it can do so much destruction as well. But that's why we exist, my friends. This is why School Shield Incorporated exists, is to get the message out there that we are a solution to the school safety problems. We are a solution to what your child's safety can be. Okay. So if you guys have not checked this out, please feel free to do so by visiting www.schoolshield.com. And please, these posts that I put out and my team puts out, they're meant to be interactive, guys. So if you hear this, if you see this, please leave comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Again, some of the big important psychological factors in school violence that we discussed today were divorce, pressure, typically pressure to perform, fighting, depression, friends, possibly getting in a bad group of friends and peers, and then fame. And unfortunately, these fames are in the wrong sense of the word fame. But guys, thank you so much. Truly know you guys could be anywhere else right now, but you are here listening to this video or this podcast. Thanks for stopping by, and please leave your comments below. See you in the next one. Take care, guys.